is YFM.
All the while you were in this, did you have plans for getting into something else, or you just saw yourself doing it and making it bigger?
I think it was more or less like I was just looking at getting into it. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. I didn't look at it as okay, one day I will be starring in so many movies in Ghana and in Nigeria and probably all over the world. I wasn't looking at it like that. I was just looking at it that this is my passion. This is what I want to get into. And this is where I want to go. I wasn't looking at it. I was just looking at it at Charlie. Let the wind they go. Make I just follow. I just follow.
Wherever you blow, you go. You just go.
Yeah, we just go. But it was about passion. You know what I mean. So for me, that was where I was looking at it.
I'm still super interested about the movie bit now.
Yeah.
What would you describe as your biggest height in being an actor? Like the moment, I mean, the biggest moment, like your brightest moment in being an actor.
I think every day is a bright moment,
Okay.
because when you're an actor, you're able to do films that reflect other people's stories, and so once you started doing the films, people see and say, "Oh, I like the role you played. You're a wicked husband. Why do you have to do that to your wife?" Blah blah blah. And so for me, every day is a bright day for me. Every day is a reflection on the fact that I'm able to positively affect the lives of people through the film or through films I do. And so I really didn't have any highest moment that, oh, Charlie Rana, they are rich, because you should never have that moment as whatever profession you are in. You shouldn't have that moment, Charlie Rana, they are rich, because you always have to remain very humble, and humility should lead the way for you.
Wow, humility should lead the way.
Humility and passion.
And passion.
Yes, humility and passion. Yes.
Now, on the other side of the same question, did you ever get to a point where you said, okay, I regret getting into this industry, or I regret picking up this job? Did you ever have a moment
mean the
like
film
that?
industry?
Yes.
Nah, I don't.
Never.
I remember so well. It was at Angie Hill Hotel, and I think even that day, I think Lydia Forson was there as well as other people, and we went to audition. It was a Sunday morning. And then they asked us to, do something crazy. I remember I removed all my clothes. It was just left with my boxes, and I was just moving around. And then after that, I got a movie role that, after filming, I had a couple of scenes after filming. Then I asked the producer, okay, Charlie, what's up? The money. Then he gave me a 10 CD note, that, oh, Charlie, here's the thing. I was like, 10 CDs, they're alive, But he said that's all he had. But then the PM, the production manager, came and said, Charlie John, you relax. I go sort you out other times, But I think at that point I was like, 10 CDs. I mean, I've come here, I've driven all the way here, I've done these scenes, I've spent 3 or 4 days on set, and it's just giving me 10 CDs. But I was a bit down and low, but the production manager said, you know what, John, just relax. And I took it in good faith. Of course, I didn't protest. I took the money, the 10 CDs, left, and then a couple of months down the line, that's when I started acting in a lot more films, and these guys came back and said, "Oh, John, what's up?" Whatever, and I think they paid what I demanded.
You added, I'm sure you even added the price, the money from the other one.
Yeah. My anger and things. So I knocked in my head.
Okay, so a little bit about the policies surrounding movies, since you are in the industry. Now, the film bill has been passed into law recently. How do you think we can leverage on that to improve the film and creative arts industry, and what will be a significant contribution to Ghana's economy when it comes to development and movies? The law that has been passed.
I think if you look at the times of Kwame Nkrumah, he had an interest in the creative art industry, and so that's how come he set up, all these Gamma film industries and so on and so forth. And so, be it as it may, the creative art industry is an important part of any society.
True.
That is what will sell Ghana or a country. I mean, as we speak, whenever we go to, when I say we, probably those in the creative art industry, whenever we go to Eastern Africa or Southern Africa, or even some parts of West Africa or even the Caribbean, people recognize us and say, "Oh, I know this guy, I know you from TV." Blah. So it's sort of, we are sort of like an export commodity, and so it adds something significant to the economy. I mean, if you look at Nigeria, I mean, a couple of years ago, they said, I think the Nollywood film industry contributes, I think, about 1.5% to their GDP. And so even if it's 1% or even 0.5%, it's still adding something.
Yeah,
it's a contribution. And so, back to Ghana, I think the film industry should be structured. We should follow certain procedures to be able to make it a vibrant economy. And so, that can even at a point in time be our biggest national export, which is the creative art industry. And of course, apart from filmmaking, you have the music, you have the arts, you have the culture and all those things, and that can really sell Ghana. And so back to the film bill, I think is a step in the right direction, and it should definitely be implemented.
Great. Let's get off movies. I think we might come back to it a little bit later. But now let's come to one part of your life that people don't really know. I think a few of us are aware. The farming bit.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I didn't say.
Nobody. The sugar party. We just dog that side. We have seen and heard a lot when it comes to farming, and then John Dumelo. First and foremost, before we get into anything, what is farming to you?
Farming is a way of life. Farming is cool to be a farmer. And back then, of course, when you say you're a farmer or you're getting into farming, you make like Charlie, nothing give you, so you go plant yam or coconut or plantain. But now farming is cool. I mean, now when people open their mouth to say, "Oh, I'm a farmer," it's sort of prestigious. You know, no matter how small your farm is. And so farming means a lot to me. And if you study any country's economics, or if you study even Ghana's economical history, you'd realize that, and of course, when we were growing up, they used to say agric is the backbone of Ghana's economy. But it makes a lot of sense now that almost everything that we want to do in the economy has to do with agriculture. And so we should be able to take agriculture very serious in this country. If you look at most of the factories that are set up, if you look at most of the businesses that are set up, especially factories and manufacturing, there's always an aspect of agriculture in it. There's always an aspect of getting some raw material from the ground, from the earth.
That's where everything comes from.
That's where everything comes from. And so I feel, so a couple of years ago, I felt that, look, agriculture is the way to go. Let me just start small. Let's see how this one goes. And it's been an amazing experience, because it was only in agriculture I realized that, Charlie, God, be lefty. There's no quick way around making money. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I felt.
Break it down,
so let me
very
break it down.
Yeah.
So let me break it down. If you take animal production and you take pigs, pigs will give birth probably twice a year. Now, at each point in time, they'll give birth between 8 to 15. That's a lot of piglets. So one pig, you feed it, you put shelter, whatever it is, veterinary services and all those things. They'll give birth between 8 to 15. But it's expensive to look after pigs, because their feeding is expensive. They are very delicate. They go feed die at any time, depending on how you look after them. But they will give you between 8 to 15. That's a lot. But if you take cattle, you just leave it in the open field. They'll chew grass, but they'll give birth to only one a year.
Wow.
Or if you take goats, same thing. They'll go chew grass, but then they'll give birth. In 18 months, they can give birth to 3. So you realize that there's no shortcut to anything.
It's either you go this way, spend less and get less.
Exactly.
Or you spend much and then you invest too much.
Yes, exactly. And you take a look at something like tomatoes. 3 months, your tomatoes will start. As soon as they start ripening, that's it, the plant dies after 3 months. But it's also delicate. But if you take a look at coconut, you plant it, after 4 years, the coconut starts coming.
4 years?
After 4 years. And then for 20, 30 years, the coconut will come. But it takes 4 years before you get a long-term investment. But if you take tomatoes, 3 months, it will come, but the plant will die. So agriculture has shown me that, look, there's no shortcut. Patience is a virtue, and God be wonderful guy.
Do you think these are parts of the reasons why the Ghanaian youth aren't really, so much into the farming, because we want things too fast, because we want money too quick?
I think so. I think, they just want quick money. They just want, Monday I put in 1,000 Ghana, by next week Monday I get some 1,002, so I get some 200 Ghana difference, and or profit. So that they work. But when you take a look around, commodities is something that if you look at it very well, you would make a lot of money. Let's look at East Legon alone. Let's look at the number of restaurants in East Legon and ask yourself, if you're able to quantify the number of tomatoes each restaurant uses a day. You're probably talking, let's say, a ton. So ask yourself, where is this tomato coming from?
The farms.
So ask, and this is just East Legon. So ask yourself, if you went into tomato production, there's a ready market for it, depending on the time and season.
Yeah.
If you plant like now, of course, when you're harvesting, you're not going to get a good price because everybody else has planted. But if you plant during the dry season, or you're harvesting during the dry season, the cost will go up. You can sell it at a much higher price. And so ask yourself, where are all these things coming from? They're coming from the farms. And so that's what led me into getting into agric, that look, we can make serious money from agriculture. Not me, but Ghana can make serious money from agriculture. Look at maize, for example. I mean, now is the planting time for maize. If you plant now, you harvest around September, October, but then you don't sell it around that time because you don't get a good price. So you store it and then sell it around January, February when the Harmattan comes and it's in high demand, and you can get 50% more of the price. And so agric is an interesting sector that the youth should definitely look into and tap into. And I mean, you can make serious money. One. Let me just give an example. One coconut plant is 10 cedis.
Okay, one plant.
Well, yeah, just one. So just imagine you get some 500 Ghana, lose weight. You don't take do anything. That's 50 coconut plants. Just plant it, leave it. After 4 years, 5 years, they'll start maturing. And every week you can make some cool, probably 500 Ghana a week. But that's after 4 years or 5 years. You know, so agric is an interesting sector that people should really pay attention to.
It is an interesting sector, but looking at how involved you are in there, do you think Ghana's system is favorable for agric, and especially new agric farmers, basically like new guys who want to get in there? Because you mentioned 4 years after you do that. Let's say I just went in for a loan from a bank to get into farming. Do we have systems that allow me to be exempted from, paying back until after 4 years as a farmer? Are there things like that?
What I know is, according to the tax laws, what I know is that for you to be a farmer, if you have a farming company, you don't pay tax after a certain period of time. And so those are the little incentives that are there for farmers. But at the end of the day, that's why if you're going for a loan to farm, you should know what kind of farming you want to get into. So you don't go for a loan. If your loan, your repayment is over a period of 5 years, then you know that, if you get some loan, get some external sources of servicing the loan.
True.
Then at the end of the 5 years, you know that, okay, you've been able to have probably 10 acres of coconut, which will probably give, let's say, maybe 2,000 cedis a month or 3,000 cedis a month. And then you can recoup whatever you invested in. And so I think going for a loan to farm is a bit dicey. Because it's risky. I mean, you have, for those who are maize farmers, you have the armyworms coming in. For those who do tomatoes, you have certain insects coming in as well. So it's a risky business. That's why you should always start small. I remember when I started, I do snail farming as well.
Okay.
And so I got interested in the numbers. I was like, Charlie, this one I go for me. So I actually built, a proper snail farm, put in about, over a period of 6 months, I put in about 20,000 snails. But I think I was in a hurry. I was in a rush. Within 2 months, Charlie, half the snails died.
Wow.
And I was like, it was my own fault. I should have just started small and then gradually build up to it and learn from my mistakes. And so that's, agric is very interesting.
You mentioned snail farming.
Yeah.
What other farming, fields are you into? Apart from now, you just do snail?
No, I do maize. At a point in time I did watermelon. I do snail. I do grass cutter. And then I do goats and cow.
That'd be a whole meal.
Yeah, so I go get the whole meal, and also what I've also learned about grass cutter is very interesting. Grass cutter is, I think grass cutter falls in the middle. They give birth after every 5 months. They give birth to about 3 or 4, but they just eat grass. So you just cut grass for them, feed them every morning. Probably sprinkle some salt water solution on the corn. But they don't eat the full corn. When the corn is about 2 months and it's just about to start, harvesting, then you just cut it and give it to them. And so grass cutter farming too is very interesting. And of course, there's a lot of demand for grass cutter meat, bush meat.
I want to pick your mind on this. So my previous guest, Honorable Kennedy Japan, mentioned that farming is a whole business, like it's a full-time business.
Yep.
It's not a part-time.
No.
Well, I was going to ask if you do side with him or not, but I didn't even finish. You also think it's a full-time job?
Yeah, you can't do absentee farming. I tried that in the north once, and half my cattle got stolen. No, you have to be there. You have to be there to manage everything. Even if you can't do it, you can at least micromanage everything. You can't just leave everything to caretakers or people you assume you trust and then say, oh, okay, maybe in 3-4 months, oh, we'll be harvesting this. I mean, if you go there and they tell you that we've not harvested anything, what can you do? Nothing. Or if you have 500 goats and one day you get up and they tell you that 100 of them have died, there's nothing you can do about it. So you cannot do absentee farming. It's a full-time business.
Job.
Yes.
But how many times in a week do you go to your farm?
Probably once a week. Once a week. Yes, I do go there once a week.
Are you not doing absenteeism farming?
Not really, because once a week, but every day I keep in touch with them.
Okay.
But the one I have in Akosombo is once a week. I go there once a week to see how things are going. And because it's something like grass cutters, I know the number of grass cutters I have. I know those who have given birth. I know those who are about to give birth. And so we keep track of all these things. And so it's for something like grass cutter farming, it's something that I know that I can be absent for 6 days and go there for 7 days.
Now, be very honest with me on this one. Based on your experience as a farmer, all right, what advice, critical advice, would you give to the average Ghanaian youth interested in getting into farming?
Don't look at the bigger picture, but start small. Don't look at the fact that somebody has 100 cattle or somebody has 200 cattle or somebody's maize farm has combined harvesters and planters and all those things and tractors, and so you'll be like, I need a lot of money. No, just start small. I mean, even your backyard, you can even grow corn. Just start very small. But look at the bigger picture. Just start small. Even if it's even catfish farming you want to do, just build a little, square tank. Get some fingerlings, put it in, feed them. Just start small so that you learn on the experience. Either than that, your money go lock. And you always look at the bigger picture. Don't think that, oh, hey, this thing or something. But know that if you start now, in the next 5 or 10 years, you probably might be the biggest catfish farmer in Ghana. And catfish is big business. I mean, if you go to Nigeria, if you go to the eastern part of Nigeria, of course, the Igbos love catfish a lot. And so look at it just start small. And you can definitely just expand as time goes on.
And since you're so much interested in development and change in policies and the rest, let's just say, all right, one day John wakes up Minister of Agriculture.
Okay,
what are you changing?
Pressure.
Just one day.
Pressure.
Just one day. What are you changing?
This question, yeah.
No, what are you changing? What are you changing in the agri sector? What policy will you change? What thing would you do that will affect the youth or affect farming in a positive way? One day as an agri minister.
Hypothetically speaking, this question, I think it will be hard for me to say using one day this is what I'll change, because there are so many things I would love to change when it comes to
the intent alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one day, okay, this is what I want to change. I mean, pointing out that this is what you don't like or this is what can be improved upon. In that aspect,
I think for me, if I just had one day, I think it's just to empower the farmers more. Okay. That's pretty much it. In Ghana, we don't have a lot of irrigation farms or farms that are irrigated, and so we deal with a lot of weather. I'll probably say we do weather farming, where we know that our rainy season is from
this side to
May to July or August, and so let's plan like this, not knowing that, okay, look, if we put in place irrigation systems, and we have a lot of water bodies, if we put in place irrigation systems and put our farms around those water bodies, we can farm all year round. So that don't say that I feel the body boyding, I feel the toes boyding, jene boyding, Emomi, do you know Emomi? Okro. In Ghana.
Okay.
Why they talk Okro forever is that?
Fetri. Yeah, that one I know.
If you like Fetri, so we should be able to farm all year round so that the prices are maintained so that you have a straight curve when it comes to pricing in Ghana. And so that is what I'll probably like.
How many languages do you speak?
Enya.
See.
I mean, I speak Ghana. I speak Fanti, I speak Tree. I'm improving on my Ewe.
Okay.
And then as for the Hausa, they're very like 2%. And then I speak a little bit of French as well.
The ones we all learned?
The French?
Yeah.
No, I
yours is better?
Yeah, mine is better. I can actually have a conversation in French.
I can listen in French.
Hey,
I can point out a few things. Like when you say the we, I know it's yes. Oh, true. True. He said you are an Igbe person. Igbe people are close to French people.
border.
Yeah, you guys, it's like a basic thing for all of you.
Actually, when you go to my hometown, which is Likwebala, it's just a mountain that separates us from Togo.
So you can go and buy bread from
Yeah, you just go and buy bread and speak French. When you come back, you start speaking Ewe. Of course, Ewe and French there is like Bola bread and Bola.
Charlie, guys, we have the man John in the building. John Dumelo is right here with us. Keep your questions coming in. I see all of you guys texting. Shouts going out to Vicentia Blay. 02022222073 to get you in via WhatsApp. Kindly be a part of the conversation on Twitter with the hashtag #WhyLeaderboard Series. John, let's move on to the next one. All right, now growing up, did you by any chance ever think you would get into active politics?
No. I'll be very blunt. No. No, I never thought I would get into politics. I always say that politics is, you always have to wait for the right time and the right moment to be able to say, okay, this is the time to serve my people. But most of the time, it is because of the good works you've done that the people will say that, oh, you know what? Can you please come and represent us in Parliament, or can you please enter politics so that you can change one or two things? And so I think my interest in politics started from 2012 when I started, campaigning for the NDC publicly. And then, of course, after the 2012 elections, I went back into acting and so on and so forth. But 2016, I actively started partaking in the in the active politics in terms of campaigning around the country for former President John Mahama in the NDC. And so I think maybe the interest started in 2012, and in 2016 it heightened a lot in me that, you know what, I can actually get into politics, because that is when we traveled around the country so many times. You see things, you see what people are going through, and it's completely different from what it is in Accra. I mean, we probably sit in Accra and we take certain things for granted. They put off the light and we're like, oh, Charlie, oh, when will it? But you go to some places, there's no light. You go to some places, their water system is, they're drinking water from rivers, dirty rivers, and so on and so forth. But I know that, at a point in time when you get a lot of people being concerned about the country, the country will move on in the right direction. And so that's how come I got into politics.
So was it all these things that you thought could have been improved upon that inspired you or motivated you to get in there, or the fact that you had influence and wanted to, put it into good use?
Well, you see,
or an alternative use, so to say.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I said back then, or what I keep on saying is that, if you take a look at, okay, now this is politics, but if you take a look at probably what NDC did, they did a lot. They did a lot of things, improved water systems, expanded water systems, expanded electricity, and so on and so forth. But for me, what got me interested was the fact that little things can change somebody's life. And so, yes, due to the fact that I was on the screens and some people knew me across the country, I think sometimes you can positively use your influence to bring change, and that is what heightened my interest into getting into politics. I mean, a lot of people say the quickest way to make money is to get into politics and so on and so forth. But
I was actually going to ask that.
Oh, you did lie.
I swear I was going to ask that. I promise you, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I was going to ask in a different way. But
you asked. Okay, so you asked. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, when you speak to the youth, when you meet people out there, I mean, many times we meet and then play games and all that, and the main thing you hear people say is, oh, politics here, do you think, you have been in there for a while, is it an avenue for people to make riches? If yes, is it the right thing to do?
I think different people have different motives into getting into politics. People want to some people, I feel, well, there's no evidence, but some people probably want to get into politics to make money. But for me, getting into politics is not about making money. It's about positively impacting the lives of people to be able to bring change. And so that is it for me. It's not about making money into politics. I mean, to be honest with you, my acting career or my acting career and everything, I mean, I wouldn't say it was very profitable, but it was okay. And of course, I could have continued it and, made money, go and chill in some Singapore or some Dubai or Santorini, or go to Mole National Park and book the whole place for like a month and just relax because you've worked hard. But at the end of the day, I think everything happens for a reason, and that's why I keep on saying that every day when you pray to God for wisdom, because God at every point in time of your life will give you wisdom to be able to shape your life. And so for me, it's not about making money in politics. At the end of the day, the demands are even higher than how much you even make in politics. I mean, if you look at an MP salaries, I think it's approximately about 16,000 cedis, and with small allowances here, maybe Abroso are 20,000 cedis, but the demands you get as a member of parliament a month is more than 20,000 cedis. So it's not, for me, it's not an avenue to make money. It's an avenue to help people.
We're going to speak a little bit more about your constituency and your plans, on getting into parliament, what you're doing currently. But then this is just off the top. I mean, in NDC, we have the Johns. We have the John Hollins.
No. When you go to some parts of the country and you say we have the Johns, it can mean something different.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we have a lot of influential Johns in the NDC party.
Right.
Are you by any chance eyeing the presidential seat anytime soon?
Oh,
is it part of your plans?
It will be anytime soon. No, no day my plan inside. My plan is to be member of parliament.
For now?
Yeah. It's to be member of parliament.
So at any point, if NDC says, okay, because you are a John and because you've worked, lead us, will you decline?
I don't think that at any point in time they will say that because I'm a John or because my name is John I should lead. I think that even if you take a look at Ayawaso West Wogon, the fact that the delegates, the NDC delegates chose me to represent them as their parliamentary candidate wasn't because my name was John, but probably they see that, okay, John can come and help Ayawaso West positively and bring a lot of change. And so I don't think it really has anything to do with the name John. But I mean, all in all, Johns have been the Johns have been very great and influential in this country.
Okay, I agree.
The John name the inside, if you powerful name.
So I was gonna get into so I remember, I think 2 years ago there was an issue with regards to you representing your constituency. I mean, changing your vote from one part to. Do you want to clear that? Because there were a lot of uncertainties around
during the by-election time.
Yes.
Oh no. I think what happened at the by-election time was, of course, my vote wasn't here. It was in the voter region. It was in Hawaii, and so that wasn't. I wasn't eligible to contest in the by-election.
So you had to transfer it here.
Yeah. So I had to transfer it after.
So everything is clear.
Yeah, everything be cool.
Great. Let's talk about the COVID-19. I mean, it's affected a lot. As a businessman, personally, how has it affected you?
I mean, personally, it's affected me a lot because around November or December, I started this, very small company or factory that we produce stuff. And with the COVID-19 that came, it affected me because I had to lay off workers, and I felt bad because the people who were supplying stuff to, of course, they've closed. And so, because by virtue of the fact that they've closed down, we can't supply to them anymore. And so it affected me bad, even in terms of my operational activities. But I think all in all, things are slowly beginning to open up. And not just me, but I know so many hotels, so many tourism industries. I mean, tourism institutions or, all these things, they had to shut down. And a lot of workers have been laid off. And I'm just hoping and praying that when everything clears up, they'll be able to open up again so that they can take these workers back on.
What is your opinion on the government's response to COVID-19? How we're going about things? Yeah, be honest. You're an actor. A lot of policies have been put in place to, put a stop to public gatherings and all these things. You're a farmer. People cannot go to markets I mean, we can't be out basically. What do you think?
I mean, let me be fair and let me be very objective. I mean, the government, to some extent, they've done well, to some extent, but I think they can do better. I mean, of course, I feel that maybe if they had closed the borders a little bit earlier, if they had done certain few things, maybe you wouldn't be getting these numbers. And so, for me to be objective, they've done okay. They're okay, but I think they can do more and better to be able to help curb this coronavirus.
Now, you recently introduced a small-scale loan scheme at Ayawaso West Wogon, donated ovens and other relief items to people within your constituency. Now, to mark your 1 year anniversary, right? That was not.
No. That was the 1 year anniversary was 2 days ago.
Was 2 days? Oh, that was just 2 days ago.
Which we did a donation to the Legon University of Ghana Hospital.
I mean, so apart from that, what other things are you doing right now?
I think the major thing I'm doing is the 200,000 Ghana cedi loan facility for small scale enterprises or businesses in Ayawaso West. I mean, if you take a look at Ayawaso West, you have a lot of tabletop businesses, those who sell vegetables, those who sell cocoa and beans, those who sell granite, banana, coffee brokeman, all those things, and the COVID-19 has affected them negatively. And so I was like of the view that, look, why don't I just give them some supports for them to be able to get back on their feet. And that's what we've started. I think so far what we've done is we've given about 20 people business loans. Even last week, a lady requested for a new oven to be able to expand her business because her oven was very small, and so she demanded, or she wanted a big oven, and then we got it for her. And she's now expanded her business, and she's baking more bread, employing more people, and making more profit. And that is the kind of positive change we want to see. I mean, we want to positively impact the lives of people. I mean, I don't want to come to you and say, oh, get 50 Ghana because you're shouting, and 50 Ghana. Oh, no. I at the end of the day, I want to be able to, even if I don't give you money, I'll give you an opportunity for you to be able to, make it in life.
Okay, so definitely that is the motive behind it. But then, do you mind telling us where the funding comes from? Do you fund these things yourself?
The funding, the God day.
I mean,
I always say, people always ask me this question that, Charlie John, but I'm interested. How you do it? And I always say God day. I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes I do not know where the funding comes from. But all I know is that things are being done, and money is being used to get things done. And so that's the truth of the matter. I'm not looking at the fact that, okay, these are huge commitments, but I'm looking at the fact that let's just start small, let's see how things go, and then if the 200,000 is exhausted, we probably increase it to probably 500 or something. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's not to score political points, it's to be able to help people positively.
Okay, great. Let's come back to one part we skipped. I think we didn't skip it. We're just keeping it for later. Let's speak about family. John Dumelo is a family man. Tell us about your family. You have a wife and a son. How do you balance your attention for family, business, and then politics now?
I think everything is about planning. Everything is about waking up or the day before, knowing what to do, what not to do. Like today, like this. Of course, I'm here. I'm doing the interview. After that, I'll probably go to the farm. Okay. Come back later in the day or later in the evening, do some small campaigning, go back home, spend time with the family. Tomorrow, probably spend half the day with the family. So everything is about planning and equally apportioning time to all aspects of my life.
Okay, great. Now, in between all these, do you find time for fun? What do you do for fun?
But with me and you, they play pool.
Good. No. That one is not fun. That one is challenge. It's war.
Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, like you said, yes. I mean, I find time to have fun or to spend time, on myself. So most of the time, yes, I'll play pool. I'll sit down, have a drink or two with friends. Just to, while away the time. And so that's the time I normally find.
I was told you were named after your father.
Yeah.
And you named your son after you.
Yeah. So you named Kidi after me.
Is this a long-standing family tradition, or are you three, John Dumelo, starting a new one? Is it like a thing now?
No, we run out with this start on.
So are you going to enforce that on your son?
Oh, no. You ain't getting your own mind.
So you can decide to break it?
Yeah, you can decide to. I mean, of course, because my father's father was called Samuel. And so, it's not a family tradition, but I just like the name John. Of course, if or when I have a second son, I wouldn't name him John. Maybe I'll probably name him Doji or Reverend or something. Why? Make I no name a Reverend.
My mind did. Me I no ball. Just say
you go fi ball. I don't think it's. I mean, it's not a tradition, but
Do you love music, John?
Yeah.
You're a music man.
Yeah, I love music.
Do you know your music?
Sort of.
No, back it out.
Because you go tell me say you go play some.
Oh no.
Who play this then?
Well, maybe we might do that, along the line. I mean, if we put something for top, you go do.
Yeah, I know ball.
If I put something for top,
Yeah,
you go do.
I know ball.
All right. Before we get to that though, I remember a few years back I saw a music video. It almost feels as if I'm talking to him. Yeah, I saw a music video. I think it was Sarkodie and Edem and somebody else in the US.
Yeah, it was me and Sarkodie.
Yeah. And you were listed as part of the people who did the song. What did you actually do in there? The lines?
The line. I talk, you know.
Yeah, you talked. I mean, that was it.
That was it. No, okay. So what happened was I was in Atlanta then, and I heard Sarkodie was around, or I knew Sarkodie was around, and so we hit each other up, I think, on social media, and then we decided to meet together with DJ Mensa, and so we just met up at the studio because he was going to record. And then I think the first song he did in the studio was the song which was Ask Dumelo, and he was like, Charlie John, in there over Kabibi or Nyumno. So I was like, that's me the minim. I don't. Then he was like, oh, you just the Kabibi keke, say anything on the song, and that's why I did that 2x4 rapping or talking. Yeah, I know rap. They be talking, I talk.
Okay,
you understand. So as for music, there I they my lie. I'm not talented for that.
Who is your favorite artist in Ghana? Who are your favorite artists in Ghana?
I know go fit talk.
What kind of music do you like?
Every kind of music. I mean, I like reggae. I like R&B. I like Azonto. I like all kinds.
All right. I'm about to start a show now, and John is supposed to pick 5 songs for me to play from Ghana. So let's go. In no particular order, 5 songs. Yeah.
Make I play 5 songs.
Just pick for me before we play it. I think you're not telling me your favorite, so just pick 5 songs for me. I know what to do.
Ofechon
by Sarkodie.
This one, EL's new song, the one I was in, Evan Hobeng, Kwame MP, his song with, I think, Medical. No, yeah.
I'm out for girls.
Yes, that one. But there's another one. Then there's another one that to link it with Medical. They were talking about rape or women violence or something.
Yeah, or the sound.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And so is that the last one?
Yeah, last one.
And then the new one with what's his name? I can't do 5.
For last one.
Stoneboy with Kelly. Yeah. Is it Kelly? Is it Kelly or Kerry?
Kerry Holson. Kelly is Clarkson.
No, Kelly.
Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland.
I know your music is not.
Yeah, that one. And then Shatawale Bullet.
Shatawale Bullet.
Yeah.
You don't like Bojo?
I like him.
You like him?
Yeah.
So if you play that one for you too, you like, right?
Yeah, and then I like Shatawale Mahama Paper.
We're gonna get into that, but I want to do something real quick whilst Ganj prepares a playlist for us. Guys, your questions are allowed. 0202222073. Give me a call now or text me. Okay, text me on the WhatsApp. Let's get talking. My man John Dumelo is in the building. If you have any questions for him, kindly send it through. The WhatsApp line is 0202222073. Hashtag Wiley the Board Series gets you in as well. Let me quickly interrupt the music. So I wasn't going to allow John just come through and go. I have a surprise for him. A very, very big surprise, John, by the way. If you're listening, somebody's on the line and wants to talk to John, okay? I bet you never knew this person was going to talk to you.
I'm sure this person will talk. I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Dumelo. My name is Mr. Dumelo. I just want to say we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
He can hear you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to say a big thank you to Mr. John Dumelo for being an amazing father, an amazing husband, and how he's able to work so hard and provide for us. Also, I want to use this opportunity to say I really admire how hard he works especially how thoughtful he is about the poor and needy. Because quite recently he went to give out some relief items, and then in the middle of the night he broke down. He was crying because he was so bothered about how people out there do not even have food on their tables. And oh my God, yeah, this man, he really has very good thoughts for Ghana and for the poor and needy. And also the fact that he's so down to earth, he's able to mingle with anybody and not be a show off.
Wow.
It's so amazing about him. So thank you for being you and being amazing. I love you.
Mrs. Dumelo, I was going to let you go. But I need to ask you this question. So I told him to list his 5 or his favorite artists. He says no. Do you know who his favorite Ghanaian artist is?
It's him. He's his favorite person.
He's his favorite person. Of course, I think he's a musician too because he has a song listed in his name.
He appreciates everyone's hard work. So there's no need for him to pinpoint a particular person, but he likes reggae, so I don't know.
Likes reggae, right? Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us. We appreciate you as well. Thank you for being a solid backbone of a strong man, our future leader. Thank you so much for talking to us. John, you have anything else to say to Mom? To our mother?
I'll see you at home.
Bye. I don't hear him say anything. Bye.
Oh man, Charlie, this is sweet. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. You actually broke down at night?
Yeah, I think it was one early morning. I think she's the only one I told, but I actually broke down in the morning because I was like, there are people really suffering in Ayawaso West. I mean, when I go and I give out the rice and then the oil and the little canned fish and stuff, I wish I could do more because you can see that they appreciate what they are receiving, but at the end of the day, they need more than these things. And so I think that got me a bit emotional, but, I was able to overcome it.
Let's shake the emotions off with your favorite song. Guys, after the songs, we're going to get straight into your questions. It's your turn now to ask all the questions. John is in the building. The hashtag is what I did for you, right?
Yeah.
I did for you. Now, I'm getting a lot of questions on our Twitter for him. A few of them I might have to ignore. The rest I'll just ask. So the reason why I'm not picking a lot of them is the fact that some are not questions. John, some are not questions. Some have no question marks. And I said questions. Yeah, be statement. Yeah, I go fit tell him.
Yeah, go fit tell me, but and just say meet me,
Bisa Curtis Kwabena, that is his handle, says, ask my incoming MP what he would do to help the unemployed youth of Ayawaso West Wuogon.
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. I think so far my campaign has been youth-based, and every youth everyone in Ayawaso West who is a youth has a unique need. Some might need to further their education. Some might need to learn a new business. Some might need to set up a new business. Some too might need, so many different opportunities. So it's about me interacting with them, and I've been interacting with the youth for the last couple of months, and I know and I see what they need. And so every youth is unique, and that's why I always say I did for you. I did for you because it's a broad way of telling you that I'm here to what do you call it? I'm here to be able to make you feel wanted in Ayawaso West.
This next question from Kobe Che on Instagram says, the world is growing digitally and technologically. Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social platforms were invented from the Western world. When any of these apps break down, it's going to affect Africa and Ghana. What steps is you, John, going to take to help support majority of Ghanaian youth who are into technology and app development if he goes into power?
Look, I mean, the truth is that we cannot do. Hey, ready, me? The truth is that okay. The phone shop day here now. So if you go buy for me, I think the truth is that the world, as we know right now, is moving to the technology side, and so we cannot do without it. But what we can do in Ghana is to be able to secure it or have backups so that technology doesn't fail us. I mean, I remember quite recently, a couple of months ago, one of the network providers had data challenges, and everything literally came to a stop or a halt in Ghana, because that is when we realized that data is actually essential. I think a year ago I wrote that data will soon be the number one commodity in the world, and that's what it is. If today internet should go off,
I think it happened one month ago. And everybody was crying.
Everybody was. It's like
you can't do nothing.
You can't do anything. You can't do anything at all. And so for me, we cannot do away with technology. But what we can safeguard is to be able to put in place measures to be able to, foresee these things that will come or that are coming, and then have backups.
All right. Messaging here says, I'm really inspired this morning, especially about the agricultural discussion. I think I've learned so much this morning. Thank you, Mr. ID, for you. I need to have a private chat to your advantage, so consider this. My name, Mr. Dix. Okay. Proposals near plenty. Final set of questions for you, all right, John, before we move out. Well, as a businessman, okay, what do you think are the do's and don'ts, generally, if you want to sustain yourself as a businessman? Like the do's and don'ts, sharp ones. Don't do this, you can do that, generally.
I think for me, the first thing I would say is that don't see your revenue as profit. Don't think that, oh, Charlie, this week or this month, my business made 20,000 cedis, so
it's my money.
It be, but then when you cost it and you say that electricity was this, tax was this, transportation was this, utilities was this and this, salaries was this, you realize that you probably left with only 500 Ghana, and that will actually be your profit. And then also, if you have some loans to pay, you take that out. And so don't see your revenue as profit, rather always try and reinvest whatever you make into the business. And of course, a lot of people also go for loans and stuff, and the first thing they do is buy themselves probably flashy cars and something, to see that they've arrived or their business is doing well. I mean, there are a lot of great businessmen in Ghana who you won't even know that this guy they hold money. But at the end of the day, always put the business first. Don't look at the profit margin. Just put the business first. Put the business on a road or a path to a certain direction that will generate money at the end of the day.
When we spoke about how you balance your attention and dedication to family and then work, you mentioned planning, all right? From all you said, we know that stardom did come to you quite early, in your life. Now you're a politician as well. How have you managed, being John Dumelo, the celebrity, the politician, the farmer, and the family man? And what advice would you share with anyone who's out there treading on the same path? Because I believe a lot of people out there are doing similar to what you're doing, or have plans of, going the same path.
Yeah. You will get nice views.
Well, can you even block that thing for me?
Well, sorry, listeners.
Did you look through my glasses?
There was breaking transmission.
Wow.
I just wanted to say that, look, always let the passion lead you. I remember when I was getting into film, I wasn't looking at the money. I wasn't looking at, oh, Charlie, this is how much I'm going to get. Or I wasn't looking at the fact that, oh, I want my Instagram followers to grow or to blow up, or my Facebook to blow up. Once you put in passion, all these things are secondary. All these things will come. And so if you want to be a farmer, if you want to be a politician, if you want to go into the creative art industry, always put the people first, or always put the passion first, and other things would definitely follow.
I might have to go back to a few questions from Charlie, the way people are bombarding me with questions. King Kofi says, Rev, I beg, ask him why he know they make how they feel some of the no Kofi. Boys have issue with you.
The no Kofi, no. You Bojidisia, a guy ever.
Let's say, why a thing?
A guy ever vaga, mega vonsia, mega chidio.
Why did you have to say that in that way?
It be your language.
I mean, we have to understand it, because the no Kofi boys, plenty of them.
No, I go do. Let's say you by next week there, the no Kofi go drop back through the Bitika app that I do. Yeah.
Okay. Final one before we move out. I think I did see it here somewhere. Okay. So this is coming in from Selassie, all right? Selassie is at Adenta. He sent this in quite early. He says, rumor has it that due to the fact that you are a creative person, you seem to inspire a lot of activities in your constituency. I mean, amongst the other contenders and you. Is this true?
I know about the question.
You say because you're a creative arts person.
Yeah.
Almost any new trend in the campaign or how you attract the youth to you, it be you they bring up, and then the other people will look and do the same thing.
Oh, I mean,
when you go and do donations, yes, exactly. People follow suit, yes.
Oh, who would the other people know?
No names are mentioned.
Okay.
But it says amongst the contenders for that constituency for yes.
I mean, the truth is that I'm just, I went to Achimota School and they said we are living water to a thirsty land. And so I think that we are pace setters in everything that we do. And so, but for me, I am not looking at other people copying. I'm looking at positively impacting the lives of people. If I go and give somebody a new oven, or I go and give somebody, a business loan or something to start up, and the next day somebody comes to do the same, the person who is doing. I mean, that's. You
don't focus much on what.
No, I don't focus much on what the other people are doing. I'm just focused on getting feedback from the ground and using that feedback to be able to win an election, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not looking for feedback from an opponent to be able to be a better person. No.
Wow. Charlie, you've said a lot. You really said a lot. I've really heard a lot too, learnt a lot from all that you said. But our final words, I mean, to the people in your constituency, the people you're working with, the ones who are going to empower you, tell them something. Tell them something they should know, sorry.
Well, I just want to say that, look, it's a great time to be in Ayawaso West, and I know that Ayawaso West actually has a lot of people who live there. I mean, our total voter population is almost close to 100,000, but I think more people have moved in, more people are still doing business there, and I just want to say that, look, great things are coming to Ayawaso West. Already great things are seen on the ground. I'm doing things on the ground, I'm doing projects on the ground, and I just hope and pray that those who believe in me or trust in me or want to push that agenda, should be able to come to Ayawaso West so that we can make Ayawaso West the greatest constituency in this country.
Yes, that's why they stay too. So, very great.
You know the Ayawaso West.
I did.
You did.
The border of Ayawa. I did the border.
Wait. Before I continue, I think I saw this question about people asking where exactly Ayawaso West constituency is. So Ayawaso West constituency is the whole of East Legon. No be Ajingano, no be School Junction. Because people they talk to School Junction, they East Legon.
We know the inside.
No, are you there? You know the inside.
Wow.
It's good. So Ayawaso West is the whole of East Legon. That's if you take the Shashi Road down to in front of the East Legon Tunnel to American House, then ARS Junction, you make a left to the Presec Junction. That whole block.
Okay, then you join the road back
to Shiashi, to Okonglo, then through to Shiashi. That whole block is the East Legon part of Ayawaso West. And then you go to Legon Campus, then you go to West Legon. West Legon from the Gimpa side. Gimpa is actually part of Ayawaso West. Then from the Gimpa side down to the West Legon police station, that whole place is also part of Ayawaso West. Then you take the whole of Jowulu, you take the whole of Abilinkpe, you take the whole of Airport and Roman Ridge, and then you take part of Tesano, which is the Santana Market area, the Tesano police station area, the back. Then you take the behind Peace FM area, the back there. That is all Ayawaso West Wagon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big.
Okay, so you do the patrol all those areas?
Yeah.
No be easy
at all.
Charlie, last question for me, okay? John, through all these experiences that you have, the plans, the things that you are, an actor, farmer, if you have the chance to relive again, would you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Format, you just be John again.
Yeah, because I feel that God has a purpose for everybody. So it will be detrimental to my destiny to be able to alter it or not be grateful to God to say that, oh God, if I come back again there, give me Rolls Royce and Bentley. Nah, it's just absurd.
Rolls Royce and Bentley. Why you mention those cars instead?
Oh, I mean
the other cars,
Toyota, the Yaris.
There's a Koenigsegg. There's Charlie, thank you so much for coming through, man. I really appreciate.
Thank you, my boss.
You spending time with us.
Thank you, my boss.
You are the boss. You are the one at the top. Social media handles in case people want to get in touch with you.
Twitter is John Dumelo 1. Instagram is John Dumelo 1. Facebook is John Dumelo. The verified one, the fan page one, yes.
I was waiting for that. Guys, so that has been my man John Dumelo, Wiley the Board series. I hope you're inspired. We're going to post all the information up on our social media platforms right after this. So kindly stay on us. Our YouTube channel is Y1079 FM. Of course, all social media platforms Y1079 FM. If you want to dig out any part of the show that you missed, the hashtag is Wiley the Board series. You know what? Stick it right here for more.
is YFM.